a mighty empire, a power during the Cold War time, it collapsed. In fact, the Central Asian states, the Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, they were the last one to declare their independence. They were not ready. In fact, Nur Sultan Nazarbayev, the president of Kazakhstan, even Islam Karimov of Uzbekistan, Imam Ali Rahmanov from Tajikistan, Sapa Murad Niyazov from Turkmenistan, the president of Turkmenistan, they were the state secretary of their respective states. They had never visualized, they had never realized that the Soviet Union will collapse. But it collapsed. And the Central Asian, the brunt basically, it goes to the Central Asian states. All kinds of the transitional economy, the position of ruble, how it collapsed. And then the people, everyone, they were trying to buy, the dollar. The way today, the people from Pakistan, they are having a race to buy, the dollar to accommodate. So that was the period. Basically, sir, we had witnessed the emergence of Central Asian states, the collapse of Soviet Union. At the same time, as I mentioned, the Indian leaders, they were slow to respond. They were not very, very, active to respond. The way Pakistan has responded, the way Turkey has responded, Iran, and moreover the China and the extra power, the so-called United States had also, emerged, and basically they tried to fill the gap that was created after the collapse of the Soviet Union. But the problem is with this, I just mentioned the Turkey, Pakistan and Iran, that basically they try to have a kind of, the ethnic relationship, the Turkic relationship, primarily Turkey, but that has not materialized the way they have visualized. In fact, they were also trying to have a kind of Islamic, the bloc comprising all Central Asian states. But I salute the leaders, from Nur Sultan Nazarbayev to Islam Karimov, Sapa Murad Niyazov, Imam Ali Rahmanov, they had not impressed by the kind of, what Iran had tried to visualize, nor Turkey. They adopted their own political system. They adopted their own relationship. They very, very tactically, they handle even United States also, and of course the Russia. So India, I just, previous speakers and in the previous session also, they had mentioned about the India's, that relationship, how it is emerging. But, sir, after the fallout of the US army from Afghanistan and the formation of Taliban, the both part, the Central Asian leaders as well as India, they have realized the importance. In fact, Afghanistan is the one place where right from 1990 onwards, from Najibullah, Hamid Karzai, this government, India has made a huge investment. That investment is, now we are not going to say where is, how our investment is going to be saved, and where we are. So in this situation, our Prime Minister, he has hosted the summit meeting of, the Foreign Minister of Central Asian State. He has also adopted the various policies to connect Central Asia. Is going to be a recommendable effort on the part of Indian government. In this situation, in my understanding, Russia is very, very important. The Baltic crisis is on, and how Russia is also helping, how is Russia is supplying the hydrocarbon energy to India. In fact, we have realized, the prices of petroleum is constant, is not going up. It's only because of Russian, the support. Otherwise, after every 2 or 3 days, we must, the 50 paisa it increase or something like that. But is a constant. So in this situation, there is a need for India-Russia cooperation in Central Asia. And at the same time, there is also need for Central Asian leaders in case of having a political stability in Afghanistan. So that is my submission, is because the historical part and the India-Central Asia relations has been already discussed elaborately. So now Russia is very, very important. And see, the Central Asian also, the Central Asian leaders, they are more and more dependent on Russia, on economy, on our security, they are more and more dependent. They can't live. Their trade is more, with Russia in compare with other states. So India should have a kind of that relation, India, Russia, and Central Asia, must, a relation, and that is also going to be very, very effective in restoring political stability in Afghanistan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You highlighted about the India and Russia possible, strengthening of the relationship. Now it's time to hear in the chairman's remark on the proceedings. I would like to request Dr. Ravikant Mishra ji to come on the stage. Sir, are you comfortable?
Yeah, whatever you prefer.
Okay, so if you can come on the stage, that will be fine. Sir, please.
Is there no question answer session?
It's up to you, sir. You can open it.
Yeah, we should. Let us see. Now that I thank the speakers for their wonderful presentations, and I would now like to request the members of the audience, if they have any questions addressed to the speakers, please come up before the concluding remarks by myself. Please go ahead. No, this one.
My name is Sayed Alavju from. Take it.
Yes, that's it.
In the morning and now also mentioned that India should, of course, India should have better relations with Russia to have even better relations with Central Asia. Did I understand correctly that like India should go through Russia to reach Central Asia, or is this like the name of the conference implies that India and Central Asia should have their own relations? So also in the morning we didn't have the discussions, question sessions that Central Asians themselves trying to get rid of this colonial power, and now Kazakhstan is also being threatened by some Russian pundits that Kazakhstan might be next after the Ukraine. So now that Central Asians actually, on the other hand, they are trying to balance Russia with China and possibly with India, and of course like smaller powers like Turkey and Iran. So do you think this is a really good policy to, and now the Russia become a rogue state that become an aggressor, and isolated and excluded from international system. Do you think this is a good strategy and good policy? Thank you.
Hello.
Would you like to respond before we take up other questions?
Hello. Hello.
See,
Hello. 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 Hello.
you are hinting about Kazakhstan is going to be next Ukraine. Yeah? No, no. See, Central Asian states, so far as my understanding goes, I have visited Kazakhstan, I have visited Uzbekistan, I have gone to Kyrgyzstan as well. Russia has its own, effect. If you can feel, in economy, trade, security, investment. Kazakhstan, of course, Kazakhstan, having a border with China, the Chinese many companies, and primarily, the Chinese petroleum company, Sinopec, they are there. But at the same time, Russia has also, the Russians, they are also very, very, the visible. If you go back 1990, when the Russians dual citizenship in Kazakhstan. I think, must be remember the Central Asian, the few states they had given. But apart from that, see, these all kind of color revolutions. This basically is the orchestrated by the Western power. United States Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. In the name of human rights violation, you can see this all, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, everywhere. That, basically it has been, the control by the Russian itself. See, my point is, in case of Afghanistan, in case of Afghanistan, you can't forget the role of 201st Motorized Rifle Division, which the Russia has deployed to safeguard the southern part. So my point is, Russia has its role, and if Central Asian can join together, the problem in Afghanistan, the political stability in Afghanistan, somehow it can be restored.